You're in for a treat. This is the second showing here. We had last year Veterans Voices, and this is a production by the theater company called Erasing the Distance. I'm going to let the artistic director tell you about the theater company and what they do. Her name is Bridget O'Shaughnessy. She is a graduate of our college. She got her master's degree here in 2007. And I can tell you that some of the work she did here towards her master's degree went into this organization, this theater company that has been in existence since 2005, if I'm not mistaken. She's been the artistic director and founder since 2005. The School for New Learning, in case you don't know, has been around for 44 years now, and is DePaul's, we call it adult college. We have a flexible, competence-based program, and it's great. It caters to part-time adult students who are working and going to school at the same time. So it's flexible, it's friendly. We recognize the challenges facing these students and welcome them in so that they can finish their degrees, some of which they started many years ago, and they end up with a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts. So I'm going to hand it over to Bridget, and she's going to tell you about Erasing the Distance and Veterans Voices. Thank you.
So my name is Bridget. I'm the founder of and artistic director of Erasing the Distance. If you're unfamiliar with our work, what we do is we gather true stories from real people. We use their exact words to create monologues and plays that we then put in the hands of professional actors to perform. So what you'll be seeing today are 5 stories from real veterans in their real words, told through the vehicle of theater. Afterwards, we'll have a chance to talk about what we've seen, and together, that's one of my favorite parts of our experience because we get a chance to process and ask questions and really walk through together what this experience has meant to us. So I look forward to doing that with you.
Left face. Eddie.
With the war in Iraq, there is no front lines, so as long as you're over there, you know, you're in harm's way, so to speak. So I went out there as a mechanic, and then probably like a month into the deployment, I was told by my boss, basically, that they needed females to be part of what's called a female search team. And it's also known as like the Lioness program in the Marine Corps. You just get attached to a bunch of grunts and kick down doors with them, and then you're there to search the women and children. But I mean, anything the infantrymen are involved in, you're right there with them the entire time. So while we were doing all that, my unit altogether lost 26 guys. The worst incident, we lost 7 guys in one hit, then other guys just along the way and stuff. So personally, I've been part of the response to what happens when a vehicle is hit by an IED, but never personally been blown up. So, yeah. So I got out of the military, came home. It was like no matter what I did, I was not happy. It was just the greatest thing could have happened and I would still be miserable. Talk about it to somebody, anybody, you know, just get that emotion out rather than hold it in. I don't want my brothers to not shoot guns or blow up fireworks because they think it's going to trigger me. I mean, you know, like, I don't want people to accommodate my weakness. Instead, I'm just going to not let it be a weakness, you know?
I wound up in Vietnam 10 days after my 20th birthday, and well, I remember there was this one guy there that I got pretty close to. I mean, I don't know, we were there about 2-3 months together, and well, we got so close that, you know, we'd share each other's mail. He'd tell me what the wife said and the kid, you know, and stuff like that. And we were pretty close, and well, this one Saturday morning we had to do security for convoy, and there's this one truck that hit a landmine and it couldn't go on, and so we're hiding behind the truck, you know, using the truck as cover, and I'm leaning up against this bank, and it was about this high. There was grass. It was a little higher, I remember, and so I'm leaning up against it, and my friend is sitting by the tires, and I remember he turned and he looked over his shoulder this way, and as he looked back, he got a bullet right here, and it came out this side, and he died right there in front of me, and it's the first time I'd ever seen anybody die before it, and it hit me pretty hard because we were pretty close, and after that I didn't get real close to anybody. I didn't want to go through that again. The memory that bothers me the most, though, is the last firefight I was in. The day I was supposed to go back to company headquarters, we got hit by rockets and mortars, and came to in a field hospital. I was stark naked, lying on an exam table, and they're looking at all my wounds and examining me. And I had 16 entry-exit wounds. And that was August 14th, and I was in a coma until September 9th. A lot of things happen in a war, and I have a lot of guilty feelings about the guys that died over there, and I didn't. And, there's a lot of times I wish I could trade places with them. I fear for my wife's safety because I have a lot of nightmares. You know, so I can't really enjoy the social event I'm at. I can't hardly socialize anymore. I'm not ashamed of anything that I did. It's just that there's barriers I have yet still to overcome.
And I grew up in sort of a poor household, so economically, college wasn't really an option for me. Nor was it even, you know, impressed upon me as something that I should do. I don't know if I was expected to be a housewife or get married, but that was definitely not what I wanted or even had an inkling to do. So, yeah, just non-access to education and critical thinking and poverty, you know. And in the world of the military, and especially in recruiting, a woman is like gold mine. So I thought, great, why not? You know, I'll get out of where I was, I'll see the world, and I didn't really fit in a lot of places anyway, so I thought, why not go on this adventure? I did that. I moved on to electrical engineering. I went to a school in San Diego, and once I graduated from there, I was sent to my first ship. It was a submarine tender, the USS Dixon, which was actually nicknamed the Dykeson. It was chock full of pregnant women and lesbians and men who, you know, people who were felons or, you know, potential felons, just dirtbags, really. I mean, you did not want to get sent to the Dixon. I was there for about a year, and then they took it out of commission and just tore it up. So then I was sent to an ammunition oiler in Bremerton, Washington, and when I was on that ship, there was a woman who befriended me, Marie. She was about 14 years older than me, I think, and she was pretty high-ranking. She worked in what we call deck, and I mean, I don't really remember how it all transpired initially, but yeah, we started hanging out. But there was always this element of don't ask, don't tell in place. And I mean, Marie had been in the military for like 14 years, you know, and certainly under don't ask, don't tell, and any other sort of pressure. So we just absolutely could not let anybody know in any capacity about our relationship, because she would have been destroyed. I mean, absolutely destroyed. And I would have too. What I do recall at that particular time was there was this certain commanding officer who slept around a lot. And if you didn't return his advances, then he would get really malicious against you. So, I mean, if you were even nominally decent looking, like in, you know, the traditional sense, then you were hounded really at all turns. And if you didn't sleep with him, if you didn't return in advance, then you could be brought up for captain's mast for being gay and be kicked out and have your life ruined. And God, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of stories of women who were outright raped and then threatened with being called or outed as being gay. It was disastrous. So I just decided that I was going to try to love. I was going to try to be a whole human being. I just wanted to love someone and be loved in as open an environment as I could humanly manage. Like if it killed me, you know? So I cut the cord with the military after 10 years, and I studied art. And
Especially if I have a bad day or a bad week and it's, why don't you come up? I'm like, no thanks. Because you know what's going to happen. It's just going to turn into a big argument, and we're not going to talk again for a few years. It's like, for me, that's the hardest part. It's like I don't have the right to get upset at all. I'd hope you'd ask, why are you upset? What's wrong? Not, are you taking your medicine? They just rather not deal with it. It's too hard for them to accept, like, hey, this is my son before he goes away, and this is my son now. Like, whoa, he never used to get angry. It's really hard for them to grasp. Same thing with my ex-wife. I'm not the same person I was before I went off and fought in war. And so when you come back, you've been away from that person for like a minimum of 8 months. During that 8 months, that person has changed because you haven't been there. You've changed because you haven't been around that person. And when you come back together, you feel like strangers to each other. Together, we both realized we were two totally different people than we were when we first met. And it was like the most toxic environment. We tried, we went to counseling and all that other stuff. It just didn't work. And one night we were fighting and I stopped and I was like, whoa. My kids were there and I was like, enough is enough.
I remember my father came up to my room to say goodbye, which was hard. Saying goodbye to people is really hard. And he said, he went to shake my hand, and he grabbed me and held me, and I felt him start crying. And I had never seen my father cry before. Never. He was a rock of Gibraltar to me. Couldn't even look me in the eye. All he said was, good luck, Tiger. It was tough. It was really tough. When we were landing in Vietnam, you could see bombs going off around the airbase. Oh my God. And the stench was so bad. The heat, this was April 23rd, 70, and it must have been 95. 98% humidity, because you were just instantly drenched. I was paged about 15 minutes later, and they said, yeah, Lieutenant, we got you going to the 101st Airborne. I almost passed out. There's no way. I don't jump out of airplanes. And so I said, no, I have to see somebody. This is all wrong. I can't do this. And so the colonel came out and he said, well, look, we're an army of choices. There's an airplane out there that he's got you booked on and it takes off in 15 minutes. Or there's a bus that's coming up front here that's going to the jail. Now, you can go that way, or you can go that way. About 2 months later, I got a call from Division Operations Center saying we need to go with an all-Vietnamese unit out to this particular fire base. It was suicide. I added a third guy with more experience in with him, but you know, I didn't have a lot of faith. And we put him in, my platoon sergeant said, "I'll insert him, LT, you stand, you stay back." 12 hours later, they were dead. That was probably the biggest shock of my whole time in Vietnam. They were my responsibility. And the guilt started to pile on big time. And I lost who I was. All the training, all the religion, the classics, all that was down the toilet to me. And it was such a shock because I remember going forward, thinking, what are you doing? What are you doing? And you had no compunction. Stick a hot muzzle underneath his chin. And I said to his brother, Jim, I think the reason that they wouldn't let you open the casket was Ken was killed by a mortar round. There wasn't much left of him. And the sister, someone, said, "Do you mean to tell me that Kenny was a hero?" And I said, "Your Ken was a hero. He was the real deal. And you should be very, very proud of him. Because he gave his life, and he did it knowing that that was the sacrifice he was going to make." And they all started crying. And I said, "I am honored to be the one to tell you. I am honored to be here with you. I am honored. This is a day that I have looked forward to for years." And
Oh, I don't know about you all, but I feel like I need a deep breath. Anybody else? Whew, it's a lot to take into the heart. So this is an opportunity for us to be in conversation with each other and to talk about whatever might have come up for us in that experience.
I felt that because that's what I went through when my service time.
Yeah.
And after I got out, rather, when I wanted to become a veteran. Everyone that just give you pills and tell you to take them, but they don't tell you what they're for. You just taking medicine. My wife, she even says it all the time.
Yeah.
They're just medicating, over-medicating you, just to get you out of here. That was outstanding performance, young man. Well, outstanding performance for all of you, so don't get me twisted, all right? Right there hit me hard. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think medication can be super helpful for some folks, but it often is seen as like a first response, and there isn't all of the other things surrounding it that can actually help someone process their experience. And it can be dangerous if that's not given space. Yeah. Thank you for giving voice to something that has been a secret in our family for years. And I think that happened a lot. They didn't necessarily have names even for what these guys were experiencing, and then they didn't have the services in place when they got back. So like the Vietnam vets are who fought for a lot of these services for our current veterans, because they waited 30 years before anybody even were able to notice what was going on and have the right way of intervening. So I don't think you're alone at all.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Willis, and I am not only a veteran of the United States Army, but I am also a DePaul alum. I came here to view Veterans Voices, and I really enjoyed the performance. I learned a lot, not only as a civilian, but as a veteran, from the things that has affected some of our veterans with PTSD. So it was a great performance. I not only love hearing about it, but I love my time at DePaul as well. So I invite everybody to come out and see such a performance if you can, and I really enjoyed myself. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Alicia Harris, and I'm the Community Resource Coordinator for DePaul University's Multi-Faith Veteran Support Project. And I'm here today just enjoying the performance here. They were very wonderful performances and stories that they told as well. I was especially excited about the one in regards to the veteran who served in Vietnam, because I have several colleagues who served in Vietnam, and some of the things that he portrayed and he spoke about in his storytelling, they speak about as well. So it was a great performance. I'm glad to be here, and I'm hoping that this performance can come out into the communities where more people can be able to engage with veterans and their issues and situations that they're going through. So thanks so much, and I appreciate it.